All right. So we'll start from general introduction to what cybersecurity is all about. I understand that in your previous place, you must have touched some of these theoretical aspects, but I don't want to train you based on the assumption. You understand? So let me, even if it requires, moving a little bit faster, once we get to the aspects that you feel you have already mastered, so that we can get to the practical aspects. Time. So our cyber security training is actually divided into two arms. We have the Security Plus, or we can as well refer to it as Windows Security Plus. And then we have the ethical hacking, which is also referred to as pen testing, which is penetration what? Testing. Now, why is important for the cybersecurity experts to understand these two domains is that, part of our job description is to protect system, protect network, protect data from unauthorized persons. So which means that on the internet, specifically on the internet, so we are not like the other physical security personnel. Our security is limited to whatever that happens within the internet. So let's quickly look at what is cyber security. Cyber security refers to the collective methods, technologies, and processes designed to protect and confidentiality, integrity, protect the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of computer systems, networks, and data from cyber attacks or unauthorized access. So that is what cybersecurity is all about. So in a close-up definition, we can say it's about learning how to protect what? Systems, network. We all know that there is high rising of insecurity, cyber attack today. Because of that, most companies are looking for cybersecurity experts to hire to help them defend their system, defend their network from unauthorized persons. Now, let's look at what is cybersecurity in a simple term. So here I'm trying to picture it in a way that we can easily understand what this training is all about. So think of it like protecting your home from intruders. Just as you lock your doors and windows, cybersecurity measures safeguard your digital assets from malicious actors. So this includes protecting against various types of threats, such as what? Malware, ransomware, phishing, and denial of what? Service attacks. So all these, I believe you know what threats is all about. So we are still going to get to where we get used to some of this cybersecurity terminology. But threats is what actually prompted this field. It's as a result of threats that some networks or systems must have envisaged or must have what foreseen that, we are not safe. You understand? So there's no sense of security. So malware is just like a developed software designed in order to what to compromise what system. The ransomware, they are also software that somebody can inject into your system to capture your system control and then ask you for a ransom payment before the what? The release, just like kidnapping. You understand? So, as a cybersecurity expert, these are things you are going to work against for that company that will eventually hire you. Phishing, just like you luring people into doing something that ordinarily they wouldn't have done, but you are capitalizing on the how lucrative it is. You are highlighting some importance of that thing, and that will have a way of bringing people into it. For example, somebody can say that there's a free training that's going to take place, and for you to access the class, you have to log in. So you can see that they must have used that phishing technique to collect what? Some of the sensitive data that they will probably use for gaining access. So now let's quickly look at effective cybersecurity. For you to have effective cybersecurity, it involves multiple what? Layers of defense. Remember that we are training you so that organization, individual can hire you to protect their system, which means that we are learning this for defensive purpose, okay? Not to use it for the other way round. So for effective security, so many layers are involved. Number one, network what? Security, which simply means protecting the network and infrastructure from unauthorized access and disruption. So it becomes your singular responsibility as a cybersecurity expert to also ensure that the company you are securing their network are what? Secured. And that is why at some points we looked at, or we will look at, network fundamentals. So every cybersecurity expert should understand how system communicates on the network using the IP address and probably the MAC address. Then it also involves application security. What does that mean? Implementing secure coding practice and defenses to protect software application. So take, for example, the application banks use in storing your transaction details. If it is not secure, the black hat hackers can break into it and steal what? The important information. So the application needs to also be secure. So application security is also part of you to have effective security layer. Then data security, ensuring that confidentiality, integrity, and availability of what? Sensitive what? Data. That is also very important, that what your data is secure. For example, if I have data in this my system now, I should be rest assured that what? The data is what? Secure. Are you with me? Okay, so it's part of our responsibility as cybersecurity experts to ensure that the company data are also what? Fairly secure. So whatever we need to do to make it difficult for the bad guys to penetrate is what we need to be putting in place on a daily basis. Now, identity management, managing user identity and access to system and data. So it's part of our responsibility. For example, if a company engage your service, once you come in, you put a structure in place that identify who have access to what. Okay, that is why if you visit the bank today, if you want to get ATM, I don't know of now, those days, it is only one person that can issue what? The ATM what? Activation what? Code. If the person is not on seat, you can't get that detail. So that is the organization level of putting policy in place to checkmate or to checkmate their data, to make sure that their sensitive information are secured. There's no leakage, to outsider. Now, let's quickly, we are still on that. So it also involves mobile security. Okay, so this program is not only aimed to teach you how to protect data on system. It also involves mobile what? Security. But as you all know today, most people that surf the internet uses what? Mobile devices. So protecting mobile devices and data from what? Threats is part of our responsibility as cyber security expert. Cloud security, securing cloud-based system and data. We all know that gradually the technology is moving into what? Cloud engineering. That's where we have this cloud engineering as a topic. That is as a course where you learn how to, work with Amazon and all of that. Now, what we are saying is that the company that is engaging you might have their data stored in the cloud, not in their local what? Machine. So you must also learn how to deploy the current or the latest AI technology to protect cloud as well. Now, it's part of the security layers. Now, let's quickly highlight the importance of cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is crucial for individuals, businesses, and organizations to prevent financial what? Losses, reputational damage, and legal what? Liability. Now, this is very important. Now, why I am teaching us this is for us to understand that there is what? Job opportunity for us as the cyber what? Security experts. So you can see that most businesses are looking for what? This expert organization. Like I mentioned here, under reputational damage, you like First Bank or all these major banks, they will not allow names that they gather for a while to be dented just because their data, their systems are what? Vulnerable to what? Attack. So they will ensure that what? They hire you and I to make sure that we keep them what? Safe. Are you following? Okay, so let's also look at security evolution. So here, this is where I want to talk about different generation, how it started, where we are now. So cybersecurity is not new in the field of what? Technology. It has been around, but the only thing is that it has been what? Advancing from one stage to another due to the high rising of what? This cyber what? Threat. So different technology have been what? Invented per time to be able to what? To contain the level of what? Threats at that moment. So cybersecurity has evolved significantly over the years to keep up with growing digital world threat, like I just explained. So this transformation can be categorized into three what? Key stages. We have the legacy security stage, we have the advanced security stage, and then we have the AI slash what? Machine learning powered security. So we have moved from the legacy stage. We are in between advanced and what? AI. So let's quickly here, I want to start taking them one after the other, starting with legacy security, which is also referred to as the traditional what? Security. So early security solution focus on basic protection through what? Firewalls, anti-what? Virus software, and access control. That is where it started. Those days, there was nothing called cybersecurity. What we used to have is that if you want your system to be protected, you install what? An antivirus. That was the first era of this practice, this field. Now, signature-based detection was the primary method. So here I'm trying to highlight the techniques they use in carrying out their security measures. Many threats had to be previously what? Identified to be blocked. So which means that you have to identify that there's a threat before you start thinking of how you can stop it. But today we are using artificial intelligence that is real time. You don't have to identify as the system identifies the threat, it also block it instantly once your settings are correct. So one of the techniques they also use system relied heavily on manual configuration and rule-based security measure. So you have to set so many things manually, but today everything is being done with the AI applications. So this approach struggled with zero-day attack and advanced persistent threats. So the limitation that era had was that could not detect new threats, unknown threats, high false positive and negatives, reactive rather than proactive. Are you with me? So it was more of reactive, not proactive. So these were some of the reasons why the bad guys those days, they were actually having their way, because they discovered that the cyber security was very weak, that somebody can easily cater away another person's information or break into another person's domain without he or her easily detecting it because of the limitation that I just highlighted. So let's quickly look at the advanced security. Under the advanced security, introduce behavior-based threat detection and automatic response mechanism. Behavior-based threat detection and automated response mechanism. That is, instead of manually detecting before blocking. So there are tools that have been put in place that can automatically be assessing the machine periodically. Are you with me? That's the meaning of the automated. That we perform analysis threats and then respond to each immediately. So part of it was endpoint detection and response. That is what EDR, and security information and event management. Said solution became common. Use of cloud-based security and zero trust architecture improved defenses. Security became more proactive, leveraging threat intelligence and analytics. Exactly. What is the benefit of this advanced era? Improved detection of complex threats, faster response time with automation, more focus on identity and access management. So all these special acronyms, you need to pay attention to them. If you are looking for a remote job, at the interview level, they might throw some of these questions. Somebody may not want to pronounce it in full as identity and access management. It can just IAM. Are you getting me now? You can just what is IAM? Now, let's quickly look at the third category, which is the AI and machine learning powered security. This is the era we are now. That is why you see that it is very easy to learn cybersecurity now, because you don't have to do so many manual things. We are just flowing with the AI. So machine learning and artificial intelligence enable predictive security. So you can see that we're talking about predictive now. So a cybersecurity specialist working in an organization can predict when an attack could be launched and quickly put measures in place to make the system difficult for the unethical hackers. AI can analyze massive data sets in real time, identifying anomalies and new attack patterns. Okay, now machine learning based tools improve behavioral analysis, helping to detect insider threats and what? Involving what? Malware. What is insider threat? What can you say is insider threat?
From the company. The way for someone to get information, you don't necessarily need to go for them. So people who work in the company themselves.
And most times, security breaches happen that way. Most times. Now, take for example, when a bank is hacked, it is very certain that what? There's leakage of what? Sensitive what? Information. And that's why you see the bank management periodically assess these guys. Sometimes they change password on a weekly basis. Some of the areas where they have some sensitive information that could be exploited by these bad hackers, they will periodically change their access password. Are you with me? Because they know that even to an extent, those guys that are working there cannot be trusted 100%. So let's look at the key feature of this generation of cybersecurity. Through predictive threat intelligence, AI anticipates potential cyber attack before the what occur. You can see the reason why the whole world now is looking for cybersecurity what expert. Because now we have moved from the era of legacy and what? And advance. But like I said, there are still some individuals that cannot maintain this particular aspect. They settle for what? The advanced personnel. People that can use advanced side of using what? AI. Automated detection and response. AI-driven system reduce human what? Intervention. So the AI will be doing most of the work. So human effort is then what? Reduced drastically. Self-learning algorithm, machine learning model continuously improve by learning from past what? Attack. So today we have a system, there are models that can study your data and based on the past occurrence can tell you that what? Based on this number of attack, based on this attempt of what? Attack, there is possibility of what? Hitting this number of what? Attack tomorrow. That is predictive what? Analysis. So once that AI is able to predict that, then the company can now put measure in place. So final thoughts about this whole stuff, cyber security has shifted from what? Static, rule-based protection to dynamic, AI-driven defenses as cyber threat become more sophisticated. AI and machine learning will play a crucial role in adaptive security, ensuring organizations stay ahead of what? Attackers. That is the whole essence of that word, predictive what? Analysis, threat analysis. It will enable the organization to stay ahead of the attacker. Before they exploit this, they have already what? Locked it. So let's quickly discuss some of these cyber security measures. Here we're talking about things that need to be put in place to prevent the what? The hackers. Like I always tell all my students, the first security is what? Awareness. As you are now, if you park into a location, maybe let's say Asabana or Onitsha, if you are not aware with the security what history of that area, you will be caught what? Unaware. You are not even secure. But the fact that you are aware that, okay, so location, so time is no go area, right? That is security itself. I can tell you that most of the attack that happens on the internet happens because majority of the internet users are not aware of what this little way the hacker can what siphon their what important what information that can be used to launch attack and end up what stealing their data. So cybersecurity measures are strategies, processes, and tools used to do what? Protect system, network, and data from cyber threats. This is one area that you should be good at if truly companies will engage you to protect or for defensive what? Security. Because let me put it on you this way. If, for example, a security man is employed to guide a particular company, and while the security man is active, an armed robber take place and succeeded. Now, if I ask you now, can we say that that security man is active? It's not active. Why? Because he did not put what? Measures in place to have prevented it from happening. No organization will be happy with you if you can only come up with, reactive measures after the whole incident has happened. But they will appreciate proactive what? Measure. Put system in place. Tighten the what? The system in a way that it becomes difficult for the bad hackers to penetrate through. So, and the data from cyber threats, these measures aim to ensure confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information. So what we are trying to say that once we put this measure in place, it will improve the integrity. People will trust. For example, now if you hear that a particular bank in a week experienced cyber attack, will you want to leave your money there? You are scared already. There's no confidence. That's why they will ensure that what they don't have that kind of experience. Because if they do, all their customers will disappear. So key cyber security measure. So here I am grouping them. The first one falls under technical measure. So there are technical measures that you need to put in place as a cyber security expert. All these that I'm explaining is for you to be aware what your responsibilities should be when you are eventually what? Employed tomorrow. So you will not think that you just sit down in one place. It is your responsibility to be checking the system vulnerability. What are the systems that are vulnerable to attack? You find a way of what? Closing them. Installing active licensed antivirus, strong antivirus in those systems just to be performing what? Real life what? Analysis or check. So your work is not just to sit in front of the system. You can only sit in front of the system when you have put all these measures what? In place, and there should be a dashboard where you are monitoring what? The analysis. That is why we have cybersecurity what? Analysis. You should know how to analyze threats. We will get to that probably in the next class. You should know how to analyze threats. If I go to this system, if I am asked now, supposing I'm employed by an organization, and I'm asked to analyze what is the level of what? Threats. Are you with me? What is the level of threats? So I need to what? Perform analysis. In that analysis, I'll be able to know, okay, there were some attempts to hack, but they couldn't what? Go through. So there are a lot of information the analysis threats will reveal, and it is from that analysis threat report you will now know whether you are to what? put some proactive what measure in place. So under the technical measure, you have to make sure that your firewall is well set. So firewall is just like the Microsoft Windows security architecture. Are you following? Or do you have an idea of what firewall is? It's the Microsoft what? Window architecture, security architecture. So most of the security features that are already embedded in your Microsoft Windows, which is your operating system, they are within what? The firewall. So it's just like fence that contain most of the system security feature put in place as proactive measure. But you know what? There are some of us that we will turn them off. Should I stop here? I notice the fan too much. The fan. It's like the fan is too much. Let's allow some heat. Okay, so I'm trying to explain because we are getting to most of this that I'm explaining theoretically. You will see them played out when I get to the practical aspects. So you must have an understanding of all this as a cybersecurity expert because you are not learning like a roadside person. If you are learning like a roadside person, you know what I would have done? You just to take you to what? The main practical. But there are certain information that you need to be wired with. You need to be informed what is required to practice in this field. And that is the reason why I am going through this. So I will have skipped all this and just go straight to the practical and save myself some stress. But I'm taking my time. So firewall is very important. Firewall is very important. So for example, now let's quickly exploit. So if I come to what? To start now. And then I click on settings. So once I click on settings, look at this here, and I navigate to privacy and what? Security. Let's see what you will get. So you now go to where you have Windows what? Security. Now, what are the items that are listed here? I want you to help me to read them out. Antivirus, and what? Firewall, and what? Network protection. So in other words, that Windows security is where most of the tools that we need to ensure that the system is secure are programmed. So as a cybersecurity expert, you must know how to program all these features because the programming or the settings of this will determine the security strengths of this system. So let me start from virus and what? Antivirus threat what? Protection. So you can see it here now. So if I ask you now, what is this? This is what? The threat what? Analysis, which the system have just what? Run. And what is as a cybersecurity expert, it is your responsibility to decode this information because you're going to be giving weekly reports. Hope you know that you are working for an organization. Some company will even mandate you to be submitting what? Daily what? Reports. At the end of each day, they want to know their system what? Security what? Strength. So what you do is that you come here and scan so that you get the latest what? Analysis. You still stand though. To get the latest what? Analysis. So what I'm doing, I'm trying to know, okay, whether there is any threats. So when you resume in your office, you run this kind of what? Analysis and be able to tell the company whether their systems are safe or not. So you can see this is what the threat analysis is saying. But the kind of scan that we did now is called quick scan. So in your office, you shouldn't do what? Quick scan. Because it means that what? To just scan what? The surface. So now you have the option, you can select what? Scan option, so that you can choose the type of scan you want to perform. Is it full scan or custom scan or Microsoft Defender antivirus offline scan? So if you are working, you have to run what? Full what? Scan. So that it can do a total checkup and tell us whether there is. Once there is a virus or anything like a ransomware or malware, is going to indicate it here. So let's go back to this option. Now we have some important options that I really want us to understand the role they play. We have what? Allowed what? Threats. So let's assume that it listed out some threats. And within you are sure that they are not reasonable threats. They can just be what? Suspicious what? Threats. And you have the confidence to say, okay, you want to what? Allow them. If you don't allow them, they'll be quarantined. They'll be kept in a place where they cannot have any what? Where they cannot be active, where they cannot cause what? Any damage. Just like when a thief is arrested, they keep them somewhere until the case is finally before they put them what? In the final what? Zone. And at that point, they cannot what? Go out and steal again. Then we have what? Protection history. So you want to check the history, how far the system is being protected. So you can see different history here. Protect folder access block. So these are some of the things that wanted to happen. That's what, based on your setting, that we are stopped. So from here, you know that what you are actually working, or your programming, your settings are yielding what? Results. So imagine you do not put your setting in order. All these attempts will have what? Gone through the system and will have ended up causing a serious what? Damage. So these are the features you need to understand, which are classified under Windows what? Security, which is the beginning part of learning cyber security. You must learn how to set or manage your Windows security features. Now, let's quickly look at the virus and threat what? Protection updates. So this is where it also perform some security what? Intelligence what? Scanning. And here is giving you an update of what? When this scan was done last. If there's need for you to what? To update again, you click. And then you say, well, check for what? Updates. Now, updates are very important. We will get to an aspect where we will expatiate on updates. Updates are just like patches. In other words, you have the first software installed, but after some time, it's outdated, right? So when you update, it does not mean that you are reinstalling. You are amending. You are what? You are adding the new copy to the what? To the old copy. So most times when your system updates are not attended to, most times you see the window notifying you somewhere here, right? That what? There are new what? Updates. And if you feel that they are not relevant, once they have depreciated, it can make some of these security features what? Vulnerable or weak. So as a cybersecurity expert, it is also your duty to make sure that what? You are constantly updating what? Your system. It's very important. Then you should know how to update. So how do I update? Let me quickly take us there. How do I update my system? So, for example, let me just come back to the main page. So once you come here, you select what? Windows what? Update. So once you click on Windows Update, it will prompt you here. You can see that what? You will always get a notification that will tell you whether you are up to date or not. Look at what I have now. Your device is missing what? Important what? Security update. Imagine. If you are working for an organization and you have this kind of thing, you shouldn't even sleep. Because going to sleep before you wake up, the bad guys must have what? Taken advantage of the system. So you can check for those updates here. Are you following? So I can just click here, and then it will automatically make sure that when you are doing this, you are on the internet, so that it can really get the update. If you are doing it offline, except you have a city here you have downloaded and stored what? The updates, so you can directly install them from the city. Okay, so while that is going on, we can go back to the slide so you understand. So these are some of the what? Technical. Why are they under technical? These are not the thing roadside person can adjust. Roadside person that is not properly trained will never know how to attend to all them, know how to turn them on, turn them off. So you can see that you can see that it has discovered the update, and is automatically downloading them. This is the reason why some person will say that their internet finished so soon. Their data rather. Just because the engineer must have, or the cybersecurity expert must have programmed the system to find and install updates automatically. That's the best practice. Because if you are waiting until you are ready for it, sometimes you may know when the bad boys or the bad guys must have taken advantage of your system. Am I communicating? So the best practice is for you to always program your system updates auto. So that once you are on the internet, it will start updating. So if you are employed tomorrow as a cybersecurity expert, program it to update automatically. So antivirus and anti-malware software detect and remove malicious software. Encryption protect sensitive data by converting it into unreadable form for unauthorized users. So the what we call cryptography. Cryptography is a process where you encrypt the file in unreadable format. We call that cipher. We call that cipher. That cipher means we encrypt the data in a way that even when it's passing through a system, let's say network, and they hijack it, when they open it, they cannot see the real information they probably be looking for. So key, we are still talking about the key cyber security measure. So intrusion detection and prevention system, IDPS, identify and block unauthorized access or attack. Multiple factor. Today, even Facebook, they have implemented multiple factor. Or even WhatsApp, long before now, WhatsApp have multiple factor. There are a lot of persons that are using WhatsApp and they have not activated multiple factor. It is very risky. Somebody can easily hack your WhatsApp. But you can see that these days now, the way you used to hear before, somebody WhatsApp is hacked. It's no longer that frequent because so many people are now aware of the multi-factor activation. Patch management, that is regularly update software to fix security vulnerability. Secure configuration, harden system by disabling unnecessary services and following best practice. still under the key. So that was the technical what? Measure. Now let's look at the organizational measure. So the company themselves need to put measure in place. They need to create working policies, security policy, policies that checkmate who access what. Secure policies, establish clear what? Guidelines for cyber security practice, access control, restrict access to data and system based on what? Roles and what? Responsibility. Like that ATM that I explained the other time. Data backup, regularly backup important what? Data to recover from in case the ransomware issue happen, you know, they will just hijack your data and expect that what? You pay a certain amount of money before they release it. So if you have already ciphered it, you are not interested in getting it back. They gain nothing because their primary motive is to, when they hijack it and decrypt it in a way that even you as the owner, when you are trying to gain access, to be asking for what? A password. So if you have already backed it up, so you must back up their what? Information, either in the cloud or you get external what? Drive. It's very important. If you have some that can be backed up through their email, you have to as well do that. Data backup. Incident response plan. Prepare procedures for detecting, responding, so, and what? Recovering from cyber what? Incident. This is the specialization of some persons, or some of us in the field. There are some persons that they are only good when they are only good in responding to what? Incidents. In some organization, there are some highly recognized what? Technical personnel that will be dedicated for what? Responding to what? Incidents. Once an attack happens, you know what? The next thing to block. So it's a field, it's an area you can train yourself to become. Vendor risk management, access and manage the what? The security of what? Third-party providers. For example, now, the body that regulates ATM, they are called InterSwitch, right? They are third party. We are aware of that. They are third party. So they have the potential of linking some information as a third party. So because they are the one that manufacture the world, the ATM, the chips. So there have to be a system that manages them as well. That is what we're talking about. So round up. We are still on the word, the key cyber security measure. Human-centric measure. This is the third one now. Cybersecurity awareness training, like I said before. A lot of people are falling victim of cyber attack because they are not aware. Just imagine those days, somebody will just call you that, I wanted to send credit to one of my friends, and I mistakenly send it to you. Please, can you what? Forward it to me. A lot of people fell in the victim. Don't you know? Before some persons begin to what? Reveal the secrets, and then everybody now got, even now, there are some persons because of what? Desperation of want to make money. They will fall into that kind of trap, but not people like us. Educate employees and what? Users about what? Phishing, social engineering, and safe online what? Behavior. Do you get this point? That means what? As a cybersecurity expert employed in that company, you need to organize a training where to help your ministry to be telling them that please don't be involved in this. Nobody should call you for this. You see these days now, you see some bank will send you a message that was also bank officer official will never ask you to send code, right? That is training, that is awareness, so that the users of the platform will be aware, because they must have done their research. Now, if I ask you now, who do you think must have informed them that the hackers are using this way to get information? The cybersecurity was experts. Password management. Encourage strong, unique password and the use of what? Password what? Manager. So there should be, that is why the bank will tell you that don't use what? Your name as your password, because These guys can easily what? Calculate your password by using what? Your name. Monitoring and what? Reporting. Train staff to identify and report suspicious activities. Still on what? Key cybersecurity what? Measure. Emerging what? Measures. Zero trust architecture. Limit trust within a network by what? Verifying all users. So never get to a point whereby you say, maybe he's a manager, should not be verified. No. AI and machine learning use advanced technology to detect and what? Mitigate threats in what? Return. Blockchain for what? Security. Use blockchain technology to what? To enhance data integrity and reduce what? Fraud. So finally, before the next class, we look at what? Cyber security what? Technologies. So still on what? The key security measure, adhere to what? Cyber security what? Framework. So there are laws that guide us. All right? So there is a parameter that once you act outside it, you find yourself in the hand of what? The government. So everybody in this field should know that there are rules that guide us, both international, local. Every country has their what? Internet operational what? Standard. So there are things you shouldn't do on the internet. When you do it, somebody can sue you. So you can't say because you are a cybersecurity expert, you are now breaking into the system, which is not allowed. We are only allowed to practice ethical hacking within the confine of virtual box, the lab you set up, which we will consider in our subsequent classes. So I'm going to stop here. Do you have any question? So I think within this 1 hour, I have established a very strong background, right?
How the system can be configured or programmed to update itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you do that?
Yes. So what you do is that from that same update setting, remember that we're talking about window update, right? So you see here now, when you come here and select, it's already programmed on what? On this. But let me see whether it's completed that update. Let me see. So let me see if I can get it here. Then from here, so you can actually set as what? Update setting. But I just want to do it here. So now if I come to what? Manage what? Setting. You see it now. Real-time what? Protection. It's set what? Automatically. Automatic what? Sample. All these one now, if you turn them off now, that means what? The system will no longer what? Scan for what? For updates and for what? Virus. So you can also check, depending on the window you are using. You can just search from your control panel, system update what? Setting. But in this case, I have to go through what? Security. But most time, you can also get it from this interface. Where is it? This interface where I was running that update. You can get it from here. Most time, you can get it here where you just, let me expand this. Advanced what? Setting, sorry. Let me go to that advanced setting. So look at it now. Get me up to what? Date. You can see that it's not what? Program. So we just turn it on. That was the reason why it was telling me some days ago. If not, each time I on my internet, what? The scanning. So why some persons will leave all this is, why some persons will leave this off? Because they don't want to consume their data. we are managing data, which is very what? It's not good. If you are working for a company, do not turn off things like this as an expert. Do you understand that? So option, we have what? Update here. You can also check. So there are a lot of, so your assignment is just to go and make sure that you exploit all these options from that window, what? Security. So just be expanding them and be studying, because each of them comes with what? Description. What that function is meant to do. Is that all? Okay.